Welcome back to PyBites YouTube's Happy New Year. We're really excited to be back. A lot of content coming in the new year. And starting today, we're going to look at Django fixtures. Use case, you're a developer, you want to share your database or part of your database, certain apps and tables. You can use manage.py with dump data and load data to export and import the data. And as I was producing this video, I actually realized that I'm mostly using PG restore when using a Postgres database. So we'll also cover that. Enjoy. Sometimes you want to provide a copy of your database as a JSON file serialized for other developers or users of your application. And for Django, that's where fixtures come in. So in this little video, a quick demo how you would use that. So here on the documentation page, we see how it works. You can use the manage.py command with load data and dump data respectively. So dump data is to dump it to a JSON file and load data is to load it in. So let's use dump data, but by default it will export the whole database. And I only want to do it for one app. So I want to do it for the books app, which has 7 models. So I can do Python manage.py dump data, and then I can specify the name of the app. That will bounce it to standard output, so I have to redirect that into a file. And now I can look at that file, but that's not going to be easy to read, so I can pipe it into JQ. And now it has nice formatting. So these are all the entries from all the tables in a nice JSON output of a list of dictionaries where every dictionary has the model, the primary key, and the fields or columns. All right. Now, secondly, let's assume we pass this file to another developer and he or she is going to import that into a brand new database. So first we have to create that new database. And if I import it now with load data, that's not going to work because this is just a blank database. So first I need to run migrate, Django's manage.py migrate command to create the tables. But first actually I need to update my .m file to point to that new database. So now any Django command will point to this new database. So let's run migrate. As you can see, that will apply all the stored migrations in the project. So it will make all the tables and changes that have been committed to migration files. We can actually verify that here. By the way, I highly recommend using PG-CLI as a really nice command line wrapper to work with Postgres. Here are all the tables that were created through that migrate subcommand. But of course, all these tables are empty now. But let's change that now by using Python manage.py again with load data. And I can just give it the file. Oh. At least make that first user. Try that again. And now it installed 975 objects from one fixture. Cool. So let's verify that. Yeah, there are 240 books in this table now. Awesome. So that's how you export and import a database in Django. So to recap, you can use Python manage.py dump data, to write it to a JSON file. Then you point to a new database. First run migrate to make the tables. And lastly, you can just use that fixture JSON file with the load data subcommand to load it into the database. As I was about to wrap up this video, I wanted to show you another way how to dump and load data, but in this case, the whole database. So assuming that you're using Postgres, What I usually actually do is pg dump and pg restore, and mostly pg restore as I get a copy of a remote cloud provider. So let me show you that as well to wrap up this video. So I copied a database from Heroku for this app, which is hosted there, and I'm going to restore it into a new database, which I set in my M file. Right, so I made PV reading list 3. Well, actually, I still need to make it. So there's a new blank database, and I point to it in .env, and now I'm going to restore the database. So this is the syntax. I give it the local host, the port, the standard user, and I need to point it to the database. So that's PV reading list 3, and I point it to the database dump I just downloaded from Heroku. And that finished pretty quickly. So let me connect to that database. And here are all the tables. And this was the last book that was added. Awesome. So if you don't want to do it at the Django level with a limited amount of tables, you can do the complete database restore with pg restore. So to recap that, it's the pg_restore command, and you point it to a database that you create first with create DB. And again, I'm talking about Postgres here. And you point it to the database dump binary file, to the custom database dump, which in this case I took from Heroku. So yeah, that's another way of loading data into a new database with Postgres, as opposed to using the Django load data command. It will restore the entire database. Hope that's helpful. See you in the next video. Hey, this is Bob again. I hope you enjoyed this video. To not miss any of our videos, hit the subscribe button below. Use the bell icon to get notified. There's a lot of content coming. We're super excited for this new year. Hope you're doing well, and see you in the next video.